Hello, 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 it's Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and it's the first Wednesday of July, which means it's time for a virtual card and a cuppa. Before I start, just wanted to tell you about a couple of things. First off, I'm just checking that this is actually working, because last time it was all upside down when I did my card and stamping techniques last week, and it's just like, oh. So just bear with me for 1 minute. Let's see if I can find it. Why do these things never happen when you want them to? And then the things you don't want them to happen. Oh yeah, I think it's okay. It says I'm live, and it seems to be the right way around, which is a good thing. So don't need to worry about that then. So today, yes, it's card and a cuppa time. Kits went in the post last week, so hopefully you all have them. And I'm sharing today the projects that I made with the Shimmer Vellum. For some reason I want to call it Shimmery Vellum because it is very shimmery. Hopefully you can see that there is a real shimmer to it. It's really pretty. So this is the in colour Shimmer Vellum, and you get 10 sheets in the pack, 2 each of all the new in colours. So this is Pale Papaya, and then you get Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink and Soft Succulent. So these are really good for doing overlays, or as I have done this time around, I've embossed them. So you should all have a piece of that, and it's up to you which side you want to use. I mean, it'd be a shame not to use the shimmery side. So the kit, you've got your usual envelope. You will have a Pale Papaya card base, which is a piece of A4 cut in half at 14.9, scored at 10.5. You will have a piece of basic white, which is your innie. So you can stamp on them, that's for you, and for you to write your greeting, whatever. You will have a piece of soft succulent, which is actually the same size, so they're interchangeable if you want to. You will then have 2 strips of Pale Papaya, a strip of, this is the in colour 6x6 Designer Series paper pack. So this bit is a soft succulent again. So it's got checks on one side and little, I was going to say fleur-de-lis, but they're not that. They're more like kind of little flowers with antenna. I don't know if you can see. I'm sure I could find something to do with them, but I like the check side, so that's the side that I'm using. You will also have a soft succulent scallop oval and a basic white oval. So those were punched out using the double oval punch. And then the last thing you will have is a piece of the Pale Papaya. This is the open organza ribbon. And again, there's rolls of this, or reels of this I should say, in each of the new 2021-23 in colours. So that is your kit. I'll just show you what I used to do the embossing on this. So it's a really deep embossing folder, and it's called a hybrid embossing folder. And the reason it's called that is because, let's see if I can put something behind it. Put that inside, then maybe you'll be able to see it. So it looks like that. And the reason it's called a hybrid embossing folder is that, yes, it embosses, and it's a very much, it's thick, so it's more like a 3D embossing folder. But then there is a die that coordinates with this, so you can actually cut out these 3 flowers if you want to. So the embossing folder is called Bloom hybrid embossing folder, and it coordinates with the Art in Bloom stamp set, which looks like this, and point out that the images are at 70%, so that is not the full size of the stamp. The stamp, actually, I opened this up, it's photopolymer, and you can see it's been quite well used. So this is all one stamp. I know that there are people who will go and cut between them, but I prefer to keep my stamps whole. So this is the stamp set, and then this is the dies. So this piece here will fit around, I just need to get it the right way round, will fit around the flowers here. And then you've also got some leaves. So this leaf is cut out. These two here will be cut out, and then you've got a long banner and a label for sentiments and things like that. And then it's also some little flowers. So before I move on, I will just show you. So this is a card that I made last week as part of the Whitten Acorns team get together last Thursday. So this is the card that I made. The theme for this card was to use Blackberry Bliss, Fresh Freesia, and Pear Pizzazz. So I embossed the piece of white with the embossing folder. So hopefully you can see the effect it gives. And I cut it out using a stitched rectangle. And then I stamped the 3 flowers, coloured them. So it's Blackberry Bliss ink, and then I used Fresh Freesia Stampin blends, both the light and the dark, for the centrepiece. And then I just coloured very quickly with some, I want to say Daffodil Delight. And then I quickly embossed them, and then I die cut them. I know people, normally I would say to you, don't die cut after you've embossed, because it will flatten, but hopefully you can see it hasn't flattened them. So you can still see the detail of the embossing folder on there. I mean, if you want to die cut and then emboss it, then all you'll simply need to do is to make sure that your flowers, when you come to do them, to emboss them, line up with the relevant piece here. So you can buy the stamp set. I'll just show you quickly in the catalogue. So this is the stamp set and the dies that I've been talking about. So you can buy them as a bundle. Whoops, probably can't see that. Oops, I've got dimensionals going everywhere. So you can buy it's called the Art in Bloom bundle. So you can buy it and save yourself the 10%, or you can buy just the stamp set, or you can buy the embossing folder and dies. So the embossing folder and dies come together. You can't separate them out. Not that I personally, I don't think you would want to, because it's such a lovely combination. So that's the bundle and things. So of course, if you'd like to order those, let me know, or simply go online. And I'm guessing you probably want to know what I've made so far with the kit. Let's just move some of this out the way so that I don't end up knocking it all over the place. Need to warn you in advance, I am not at home in the UK, I'm elsewhere, and the neighbours are having their roof done. So there may be a bit of noise going on in the next half hour, so hopefully I'll get finished before that. Right, so let's just move that to one side. So this was, so this one was my original card. So, and what I did was I actually cut up this piece of soft succulent and mounted it between the thicker piece and the thinner piece, because I wanted to show the full effect of the Shimmer Vellum. So I cut the soft succulent up. One strip I stuck on the thicker piece, wrapped the ribbon around it and then tied it in a knot. You could tie it in a bow, but it's really up to you, or just stick a bow on, just use the ribbon to make a bow and then fix that on with a glue dot. So all this is raised up using dimensionals, and then I used my scallop oval and the basic white piece stamped sentiment, and then just added that to the middle, and then the piece of designer series paper I used for the middle. So that was my first card. My second card, I decided that I actually wasn't going to cut up that piece of soft succulent, and instead I fixed the Shimmer Vellum directly to it, so you can see the effect that it has on the colour beneath. So it's far more muted there. For some it's probably a bit too green. I'm not going to name any names. So what I did set, and also because this is quite thick, I used like the centres of the flowers and the leaves to use glue dots to fix them on. So you can't actually see them because it's quite heavily embossed there, which is quite nice that you can't see it. Where's that? Yeah, and I stuck one behind that and you can't see that. So I stuck that on and then I simply layered. So if I just show you what I did, I simply layered. So I put that on and that on there. Just pretend that that's like the right size. So you will need to cut some of these down, because again, I much rather give you something that's slightly too big. And then I just simply layered the 3 strips that you've got like that. So that I ended up with a small layer of soft succulent to the left hand side. Wrap my ribbon around so that it was actually over this piece. They're not overlapping an awful lot. And then glued it to the card front, and then stamped a sentiment. And so this has got glue dots on and that's got glue dots on. And then the inside I actually stamped. So I stamped the flower in soft succulent, and then this is actually a 2-step stamping. So this is where it's going to get noisy, sorry. I used the Papaya to stamp in the middle. So that was that card. So those are the 2 cards that I have made. I've been umming and ahhing and trying to figure out what I want to do with this card. I still want to make the soft succulent, the paper a focal point, but what I don't want to do is put it onto the soft succulent. I like the effect of this one where you've just got the pale papaya over the pale papaya. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be very adventurous. I don't have many supplies with me here, but I have my stitch rectangles. And I'm thinking I might just make, and I'm not going to cut into this, I'm going to cut into, let's see now. How big does that make it? You would see some of it there. The thing is finding something that is wide enough, but not so wide that you're going to see the edge. Let's see what that does. No, I think I'm going to have to use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stitched rectangle, excuse me, and I'm going to cut a hole in that using my Stampin cut and emboss machine, which I've got to the side. But this table that I'm using at the moment, what you can't see is it just virtually ends. Just I've got like 3 inches, maybe a bit more, 4 inches, and maybe a foot this side. It's not a very big table, so not that I'm complaining, because it's just what it is. This table has been with us for years and years and years. In fact, it was a table that George and I bought when we were not long had the kids. It was our little kitchen table, because it was all we could fit in. So the kids used to have the high chairs and those seats that hang off the edge. So I'm just going to run this through quickly. Bear with me. Right. Well, I think I might have gone a bit lopsided. So I'm going to put this so that it shows the 2 flowers, I think. Now I could, if I wanted to, I could go mad and I could use my die again and run it through again, just to make it a bit wider or longer, like so. It's up to you. It's the nice thing about these dies, because they're stitched, when you use them, if you can, when you place them back down again, you can kind of feel that it goes back in the same slot. So I don't know if I want to do that, but I might just take off a little bit from that side, just so that it is a bit more even, she says. Let's see. It will work. Maybe I'm tempting fate, maybe I won't, but that is an option, so you can do that. So if you wanted to, you could make this a lot longer. Now, because I'm putting this behind, it doesn't matter what I use as an adhesive. You just need to kind of decide where you want to place this. So if I want to have a bit of all 3 flowers, like this, I like that. And then all I would do is I would glue it and then I would trim it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue to the back of this. You can be quite generous, not necessarily quite so close to the edge there, but certainly further around. So just taking off the end of the glue, because it always seems to go a bit dry. So I'm just going to put this on here. So I don't want to go too close to the edge, because I don't want the it to squidge out onto the vellum that we can see. And then I think I decided that I probably, sorry if I've got my head in the way. I'm going to put it there. And then I'm going to trim it off, and I may even just put a little bit more underneath. A couple of bits just to make sure that it's not going to go. Oops. So I managed to get it on here. I'm going to put a bit more here, I think. And a bit more there. Oh, actually, no, that seems to have glued okay. Right, scissors. I had them earlier. Here we are. So I'm just going to take that piece off, like so. Now I've got a bit of glue on there, mucky pup that I am. So I'm just going to let that dry a second, and I'm going to get my glue eraser out. And so whilst that's drying, I'm just going to put that to one side for a minute. I'm going to just do the inside of my card. So I'm going to use that piece and that piece to decorate, I think. And I'm going to glue this piece to that piece so that I know then I've got the right width. And then once I've glued them together, I can then just stick them inside the card. I don't want too much of that pale papaya showing. I just want it to be, be a little. So this is not all soft succulent, and it's definitely gone on the wonk. But let's see, whilst it's still damp, or not set, I should say, just redo it. That's it. That's fine. And then the nice thing is that these edges haven't stuck down too good. You can just simply put them on here so that you can trim it off. There is always a way to neaten things up and get it looking good. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to put it right down at the bottom. Sometimes I have a little edge of white or whatever showing, but I'm not going to do that today. Right. So did you guys know that there is a new mini catalogue coming up? It starts on the 3rd of August. I've ordered mine and they should be arriving this week, and then they will be going in the post. So if you've ordered from me in the last 6 months, you will receive a free copy of the catalogue, and also Celebration, because Celebration also starts. We have 2 celebrations this year. The first one was in January, and then the second one is also starting on the 2nd of August, and that will run through to the end of September. So there's all sorts of things going on next month, which is exciting. I mean, it's summer, I know, and lockdown should be coming to an end, so people will be wanting to go out and about, which is all exciting. But, so yeah, so if you'd like a copy and you've placed an order with me in the last 6 months, you will automatically get one. I'm just leaving it that for the time being. I've been finding that I'm sending out lots of catalogues, which I do have to pay for, and I don't mind sending them out to people, but I'm just trying to be a little bit more careful with my pennies at the moment. I've got my eraser here that will take off that glue. She says, oh, that's stuck to there, that's not so good. Right, okay. Okay, right, what do we have now? So we've got an inside of the card, we've got an outside of the card, which I won't stick on just yet. Now we need to do a sentiment of sorts, and I have, what do I have left? Out of all the bits that I've used so far. So I have my scallop oval, my white oval, piece of pale papaya still. I have the piece that I've cut out of the middle, which I could turn that way, but I'm not going to. So let's see if I put that you know, maybe I kind of sort of like just faff around a little bit. Well, I'm not faffing, I'm just trying to decide. Actually, you know what? We really want to show the Shimmer Vellum, so I don't want to cover too much of it over, at least certainly not much of the. I do quite like it in the middle though. I can't quite decide on top bottom, but I think I might end up going for the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this so that it is the same width as this piece, which is 10 centimetres, and I will be posting photos of all the cards and also the instructions to cut the kit so that you know what I used and how much. So I will be doing that. Now I know that this is 10 centimetres wide. I'm just double checking. Yep. I want it slightly shorter, so I'm going to go 9 centimetres wide. Like that. So that's going to go across there like that. Now I could banner each end, or I could just leave it, or I could cut it at an angle. There's all sorts of things that you can do just to these, just to make them look a little bit different. So I think, do I want to leave it like that? Right, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to try it anyway, so I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So where did I put my stamp set? It's up here. So the other thing that the stamp set has is these little, so we've got blocks and we've got circles. Now all those blocks fit on there. Let's see, will they fit top and bottom? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do some tone on tone stamping. So I'm going to use my, I'm going to use pale papaya ink. I need a block. I need a long block. So this is a H block. So I'm just going to put that on there. And the thing about photopolymer, you could, if you wanted to, I don't know if you can see, you can bend these slightly. Obviously you don't want to double them up or anything. Sorry, there's a cat hair there. So you could, if you wanted to do an arch, that would actually be quite good to do. So bricks going for an arch, but don't want an arch. I do want it actually straight. So I'm just going to use my grid paper, good old grid paper. Put that on top. There we go. So I know that's straight. Ink it up. Not so sure that that's straight, but hey ho. You may find on some of these distinctive stamps, and certainly if you've got a juicy ink pad, that it kind of goes spotty, but don't worry about that. I've been finding a lot of mine at the moment go a bit spotty, but when I actually come to stamp, it comes out fine. And now I can't see what I'm doing, so I have no idea if this is in the middle or what. So I'm just going to go for it. There we go, so that's my tone on tone. I did go a bit wonk, but let's close that up so I don't end up putting fingers or hands or whatever in it. So I'm going to put that over there. And then I'm going to use this. Now, do I actually like that? And the answer is no. So you know what? I'm just going to turn it over. It's a good thing about paper and card is that there is two sides to it. Not so good if you're using obviously the double-sided paper, because you may not actually like the other side. But okay, right, I'm going to just glue that on. So I'm just put some glue on each end. I don't want to actually glue it to the vellum. We could, but I don't think there's any need to. So I'm going to glue those down. Hopefully they look like they're kind of, let's see, I was going to say certainly equal left and right, but whether they're straight is another matter. Okay, oops, why is that? Oh, I guess my ink's probably a bit too wet still. Let's just put that on. Hold it for a second. There we go. Okay, so I will stamp on here instead. Now, do I want to use, I could use black. That might be a bit stark though. I might use some pale papaya again. Let's see, what do we have here? dear friend, thanks, you're a rare find. Not so sure. So sometimes these sentiments are great, sometimes I'm like, not sure. So I'm going to use dear friend. I don't want any of those blocks because they're just too big. Let's see. So everything I've got here is in a little cart next to me. The cat hairs are getting everywhere. Try again, put it down. With a photopollen, sometimes it sticks to your finger. Right, now the dear friend does fit on there, but what I could do, if I'm going to be brave, which I am, sometimes you don't necessarily want your sentiment in a straight line. Sometimes you want to have one word over the other. So you can either do that, achieve that by masking, or you can just simply take one word and ink it up like this, and then stamp it. Excuse me, I need to bring this a bit closer to me so I can actually see what I'm doing. So there's that one, and then you need to make sure that you have cleaned your stamp really well. That's okay. And then you can then ink up the other word. Oops, don't want dear again, I've done that one. So I want to this time ink up friend. So that's that bit inked up, and again this time I want to stamp it underneath, kind of, so that the top word is central to the bottom one underneath. There we go, and do it that way. So that's just a different way of using the same sentiment stamp, but then just having it slightly different on what how you're using it. There's all sorts of tricks that you can use for these. Now I'm going to glue this to that, I think. So what have I told you about so far? Oh yes, so I've told you about new catalogue coming. Because I'm a demonstrator, one of the perks of being a demo is that you get to pre-order from new catalogues. So I'm currently waiting for all that to arrive. If you decide that you want to join the team in this month, you can actually use and order the pre-order items, which is basically everything that's in the new mini catalogue as part of your starter kit, and it's £130 worth for £99 and free P&P. So the starter kit is always a good deal. So there's that bit, and then this is just simply, I'm not going to glue it, I think I will. Oops, is that even straight? Yeah, kind of. I'm going to use some dimensionals on this too. So I'm not going to put any dimensionals on the vellum. Well, obviously the bit, I can put it on the bit that is not going to be showing through, but I'm just going to stay away from that. And of course I can also put, oops, not quite what I plan to do, but hey. Because I can see where that cross piece is, I'm going to put a piece there, or dimensional there, and I'm going to put one, oh dear, there, oh dear, They're definitely sticky today. Oh yes, so yep, so you can order stuff from the new mini catalogue this month as part of your starter kit, or obviously you can, the other option is to wait until you know what the deal's going to be for celebration. It depends on what what you want. It's really up to you. And then obviously then if you want to just carry on being a happy shopper and purchasing for yourself, that's okay. There's no obligation to actually sell per se. You don't have to do what I do. I mean, I love what I do, so for me it's a no-brainer. But if you just want to enjoy the discount for yourself, then that's fine. There you go. So I think it needs something else on here. Probably a little bit of bling. Oh, you know what? I forgot the ribbon, didn't I? What are we going to do with the ribbon? Are we going to do anything with the ribbon? Maybe I might just save the ribbon for another project. Just because it's in the kit doesn't mean that you have to use it. If you want to keep it and use it for something else, that's fine. I really don't mind. I just try and provide stuff in the kit that, you know, gives you options. So that's that. Right, I need some bling. Oh, here we go. As if the Shimmer Vellum isn't enough. We'll add some. Add a couple of rhinestones. Alright, do I want big ones? Middle-sized ones? I think I'll go for middle-sized ones. I don't want small ones. I want to make something of it. So, oh god dear, I did have on the wonk, didn't I? So if you find that you put this on like I have and it's completely wonky, don't panic. You don't need to rip it off. It does mean that you will have to start again with some dimensionals, but the trick is to simply go between the card and your piece that you've mounted on there and just snip through the dimensionals like this. So you can see the scissors there. Just do that. That will then mean that the front is then free. Just be careful on this bit that you don't end up cutting through the actual vellum. Luckily it's hidden. There we go. So see, that's freed it up. I'm not showing you that bit because I think I might have gone through the vellum. No, I didn't. So that's lucky. And then all you need to do is simply take your thumb and rub these off. And don't leave them lying around because otherwise you'll find that you've stuck them to all sorts of things. The cat, the dog, they always end up wearing something. So it's obviously, if you've glued things down, it's not as easy to take apart. You can do it, there are ways. Normally a piece of floss, dental floss between the two, that will work. Obviously if you do use glue, wet glue, then you actually do have time to wiggle it around and get it straight anyway. So I need to find some more dimensionals. There we go. And start again. Maybe I won't be so generous this time with dimensionals. I don't tend to like take these bits off. They're hidden. Only you at the end of the day know that they're there. Well, you know they're on mine, but let's see, put one there I think, and one there. And then just take these ones off. hopefully this time around I can actually get it straight. So, but my mistake, it means it just shows you how to fix things. I'm just going to move this to right in front of me, and so that I can actually hopefully then get a border that is the same all the way around. That's better. I'm happier with that now. So there you go. So that's my third card all done. There were a few other things that I wanted to tell you. Oh yes, so we've got one more card and a cuppa this month, which is in 2 weeks' time. So today's what, the 7th, so it'll be on the 21st. At the same time, so it'd be 3 o'clock your time. And so and then there's none in August, but there's 2 things I'm doing. First off, I'm still doing Facebook Lives. So there will be a Facebook Live every Wednesday, irrespective of whether it's a card and a cuppa, what would have been a card and a cuppa or not. So next Wednesday there'll be card and stamping techniques, and then card and a cuppa, and then from then on to the end of August there will be card and stamping techniques Wednesdays. And then starting this month on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday evenings, starting at 7:30, there is going to be, I'm going to do a summer craft along. It's free to join, and you just simply rock up on the Zoom call. So there is in the events on my Facebook page details of the Zoom login and everything, and then just come along and craft. It doesn't need to be paper crafts, it's entirely up to you. So whatever you happen to be working on at the moment, it's just a chance just to sit, natter, and do things like that over the summer. So I will be doing that. Obviously, depending on how successful it is, then I may continue it into September onwards. Come September, hopefully, Card and the Cuppa will be live, and what I will be doing is I'll be at the coffee shop in the morning, and then for those of you who still prefer to do them virtually, I will do an afternoon virtual event on Facebook, so like this. And, oh yeah, designer series paper sale, nearly forgot to mention that. So at the moment there's 15% off select packs of designer series paper. All the details went in the last newsletter, and on my blog, and did I put it on Facebook? I probably did. It's there somewhere anyway. But yeah, just a quick reminder about that. So that goes on till the end of the month. And it's just select paper from the annual catalogue, because actually the annual catalogue is the only catalogue at the moment that is live. Anyway, so that is it. I will see you next Wednesday. Well, I won't see you. You will see my hands and hear my voice, unless you are going to join us on Zoom, and I hope you do. And in the meantime, stay safe and well, and enjoy your week. Take care. Bye.